and we continue our Persona 3 Portable Let's Play. Some differences from the previous video. For one, I lowered the game audio a bit, because while it didn't sound very loud to me when I checked it on my computer, after I uploaded it, it did seem louder than it should be, or as I had expected it to, and since I don't want to ruin my voice trying to out-drown the game itself, I decided to just lower it. Also, I seem to have accidentally caused a bit of the right side of the screen to be sliced off in the previous video, and I hope I have fixed that problem by now. Anyway, let us head into the Tartarus. Technically, the first block with a total of 6 blocks, and a total of 256 floors to go through. Translation? She is going to be our Navi in battle. Be quiet, Yukari. Nobody cares about you anyway. First things first, there's a chest. Treasure chests are more important than battles. No thanks. I've played Persona before, and I very recently just started my Persona 4 playthrough again. Because I haven't played that since I was in one of the later dungeons. And I have the feeling like I have to lower the game audio a bit more. 1 second, I'm gonna quick open here. This sounds better, I think. Okay, this should be better now. Well, where is it? Oh. Standing there right next to me, not giving a damn. No thanks. Yeah, that's a very nice difference between the Navi in Persona 3 and Persona 4. In Persona 3 you can actually tell them to analyze something, whereas in Persona 4 you just plain have to guess. But yes, as you can see here, fire weakness. Oops. I think I'm gonna switch the rotation in battle. By the way, there's no need to worry. I am not going to show every single battle that I'm going to go through in the Tartarus. Only the mini-bosses. But since this is still the tutorial part and everything... Yes, I managed it. Don't worry, you do not really need to tell me about it. No thanks. By the way, yes, all voices' appearance changes depending on playing as the female or the male hero. But what I notice is that the Messiah persona does not change its appearance depending on the gender of the hero. Would be kinda cool if it did, but it didn't. And I don't know if the ultimate persona Orpheus Telos actually changes its appearance depending on the hero too. I don't think it does. No thanks, because if you had actually paid attention to what is really going on, Navi, you'd see that I had already performed some of those in the previous battles. They translated that into "come back here, you son of a..." That is so off. I love having them do whatever I want, instead of me having to do the stuff. It's great for lazy people.
待てるってか、なんか息苦しいよな。
それは影時間のせいだ。平時よりずっと早く体力を消耗するからな。心配ない。じき慣れる。しかし想像してたよりもいけそうじゃないか。秋彦もうかうかしてられないな。
抜かせ。
Yeah, it's not mentioned, but there are statuses for your party members. They range from sick, tired, good, and great. In the PlayStation 2 version, if a character became tired while going through the Tartaros, they would leave your party and would then, I think they also refused to rejoin your party until they were back to the good status. But here, they don't. They grow tired if they die in battle and you don't resurrect them. And they are then back at the entrance and are set to tired, but they would join your group, pointing out that they would probably not be much help. Which they aren't. A character who is tired is much more likely to get hit critically, especially if it's their weakness, and they might very well die from that rather than just get knocked on their ass for a few minutes, and they won't hit critically all that much. Opposite is of course also good. If they are on great, then they are much more likely to give critical hits. It was just general non-committal stuff about how we should all feel better about ourselves. You don't need to concern yourself about it. I'm good. I don't have to sleep in class. And I think Kenji was the name of the magician Arcana in the male route. In the female route, he's not very important. Yes, we are only like an hour and 15-ish minutes into the game, and we are now fully capable of having full-on gameplay, which is wonderful, because as I mentioned before in Persona 4, it would take a bit longer. At least that's what it always felt like to me. No. I know where I have to go. Yeah, since we don't really have much option for social links right now, we can't really do anything yet. Yes, right now we are dumb as bricks, we are not very pretty, and we are not very courageous either. I do like that compared to Persona 4, you only have 3 parameters to increase Although these have, I think, one higher level than Persona 4. Okay. Ha! Serves them right. Hello, nurse. Oh, you are a male nurse. Fine. Since we are already outside, or can walk around, let's look at the other places. Or apparently we cannot. Poor guy. You've never watched performances or the audience during a live concert, have you? Or even during a recorded concert? I absolutely agree with you. I have some ibuprofen if you want it. I hate fangirls. Yeah, look at them being so heavily detailed in their description. Yeah, as somebody recently pointed out on the forum about the visual novel style of the game here, is that the problem with it is that it's meant to be a I just moved here, you bitch! Anyway, they say that the game is supposed to be done like a visual novel, but the problem is that the game isn't really written like a visual novel. If you look at visual novels like Ace Attorney, or even dating sim visual novels like Kataba Shoujo and similar, or even Hatoful Boyfriend, they do have blocks of text that simply focus on explaining their surroundings, which is what a visual novel would do. Instead of here, we just get a hint of, yeah, you're gonna do this, and this has happened in one or two short sentences, and they don't really explain much, so we don't really get much emotion out of it. So really all we have here is looking at the sprites. 5,000?! I make more money going through the Tataros as one block. Don't worry, we'll get money easily enough.
君たちのことは聞いてる。俺の仕事は町の治安を守ることだ。たとえそれがどんな事情であってもな。力などなくても俺にはこの町の異変はわかる。
Yeah, so I'm just gonna trust these high school students that come in here and demand to buy naginachas, swords, bows, rapiers later on, even axes. So... yeah, later on in the female route, as far as I learned, I didn't see any in the male route. We can get sort of costume-ish armor, which is more on the expensive side, but it can also be pretty helpful. Apparently there's this magic bikini that's really overpowered, but I only got it very late in the game, and I eventually bought it, and then it was so useless, so the only fun in it was... well, it's... think chainmail bikini in video games, only minus really the loincloth part of it. No real skirt, it's basically just underwear. Metallic underwear with armor-ish tendencies, but yeah, it's still kind of useless. Liar. At least that's what I think. That is explained to be because in Persona 4 you don't really have to do that, since they kind of accepted their other self and that gave them control over their persona. But in this game we don't do that, so we have to kind of force them out, which we do by getting... oh, it's explained to happen when you're under extreme mental stress. So yeah, pointing a gun at your head and shooting yourself would bring you the stress needed to summon the persona, I guess. Although I kinda wonder, wouldn't you have to stack up what you do, like you point first a gun at your head and then you get so used to that, because as you can see some of the characters shoot themselves in the head like it's nothing. So wouldn't you have to go for the gun, then go for stabbing yourself, and then going for cyanide pill or anything like that? Something else, yes, we can only go to the mall or to the dorm. We can't go to any other place, but the mall is important because 2 social links appear there eventually. Yes? God, you're a bitch. Anyway, of course we can't get there yet. But whatever. Sure? have to say that I think I've mentioned before that I find the music in Persona 3 Portable to be absolutely forgettable. I think there was only one track that I absolutely loved in this game, which is When the Moon Reaches to the Stars. I think that's what it was labeled. And it plays usually when you when you go outside at night, but you didn't hear it because they changed some of the tracks between the male and female version. So When the Moon Reaches to the Stars is only in the male route, and even then it's pretty easy to miss, so my toe almost hit the computer's off button just now. Oopsie. Do what I do during class. Sometimes I wrote stuff, sometimes I drew. Ramen are cool. I had some satay flavored ones earlier. They were a bit more spicy than I expected them to be. The glass shattering noise is a bit annoying. And yes, in the female route, Junpei is a social link and he is the Magician Arcana. Male version did not have a social link with any of the male party members. Good. I don't do that myself. I'd never date a coworker.
君か、おかえり。
I was about to point that out myself. You're only good, really, for healing. I have missed the clock image so much. Basically, he's telling us about Persona Fusion. The only one we can do at first are 2 or 3 together. Yep. But later we can do 4 and 5 together, and I think 6 was the maximum? But yes, in order to fuse a persona, you have to be at least the level that the persona is. By the way, this clock is the save place. We can heal, we can check everything. It costs money, but it is nowhere near as expensive as the Fox in Persona 4. I think I read that in FES you were not capable of going back in from your latest floor. You had to start from the bottom of the block every time. Yeah, Ow. The great sources that Mitsuru feels are basically the mini-bosses in this place. They can range from being easy to being rather difficult at times. Wonderful. I got the same weapon that Yukari currently has equipped. Then again, the nice thing about getting weapons that you either already have or don't need is that you can simply sell them for money. It is so much easier to get money in Persona 3 than it is in Persona 4. Yeah, the skill cards are nice to have, I guess, but I personally never really did much with them. By the way, fun fact. Yukari is weak to thunder, and he is weak to wind. Well, Junpei doesn't really learn thunder spells. It is funny that he's weak to her. Why is my heroine wearing vamp shoes? Oh well. I forget, was the first mini-boss on floor 5 or on floor 10? It was on floor 5. You can tell because we're in a bigger room. Also, these are teleporters. We can though use those to quickly teleport between certain floors. I think this was another change to this version, is that they changed all the locations of the teleporters so that you can instantly teleport down here, heal up, and save before fighting them. So this is just one more thing that made the game easier than it was actually in the PlayStation 2 version. It's like every time they bring a Persona game from a console to a handheld, they end up making it much easier. And yes, I think the same thing happened with Persona 4 to Persona 4 Golden. Of course, we don't really see anything. But as we noticed, they seem to be susceptible to Yukari's pierce attacks. By the way, I think if you hit them with a physical weakness, then you never miss? I could be wrong, but I don't really remember missing with a physical weakness. I think it's happened with I've often enough missed with a spell weakness. Fail. Okay, that answered my question. Whoops. I'm just gonna go into rush mode now.
よし、そこから反撃だ。
ちょっと苦戦したかな。
Yeah, sometimes you can see rather large jumps of learned skills. Yukari won't learn anything until level 16. By the way, yes, I'm the type of player that tries to get to the top of the current block of the Tataros as soon as possible. Given one of the features in this game, it's kind of a bad idea at times, but then it's a pretty stupid feature. Slowpoke Yukari has caught up. Very nice. Anyway, yeah, this is a problem with Persona 3. The only dungeon we actually have is the Tataros. So, going through this place is very boring, since even though the blocks all have different designs, they are still very boring. So I might even cut out entire trips where all I do is go through the Tataros. And I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, there's really not much to talk about while you're going through the Tataros. I mean, even the music is kind of meh. There's a treasure chest. Yeah, if there's an enemy around, it's first attack instead of check the treasure chest. Unfortunately. Oh, one of these. They disappear, as you can see. They're gold hands. They drop. By the way, that is a distressed shadow. Means we are too powerful for it. And they run away from us in fear. Boring to get a disc poison. I want money. And yes, the distressed shadow noise is very annoying after a while.